There's no water in the fridge. All right, let's start. Mathew, Leckie, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you can push that. Just identify yourselves if you could. I think Mathew knows most of you.
Steve Larkin, AAP. Mathew, just check in on you physically and your mates. I mean, obviously a short turnaround, but how you're feeling? What's the recovery process going to be like for the next 2 days?
Yeah, I think after the game, definitely obviously exhausted. I think most of the boys were. Everyone threw everything at that game to get the result, and it wasn't too different to Tunisia game. So we've already been down to Aspetar today, had got our recovery in, and this afternoon's pretty low key, get some rest. And yeah, I think today, tomorrow, it's going to be obviously a major point of just getting recovery in, because it's all about getting the body ready and putting in another shift.
And can I just check, I mean, before the game you spoke about watching the 2006 Socceroos. How do you feel now that the comparisons are coming thick and fast with this squad with them?
Yeah, I don't really want to compare us to them, because what they did was special, and I think last night was also special, and I just think the belief in this team, it's something special, and I think that's what's got us to where we are today. As I said before, we had to do it the hard way to get here, first and foremost, and a lot of people didn't even expect us to be at the World Cup, and probably thought we probably had no chance to get out of the group. So we continue to prove people wrong, and believe within the group, and it's knockout football now, so anything can happen.
Matt, Dave Mark from the ABC. You've had a night to sleep on it and reflect on scoring that goal, and what a historic moment it was for the Socceroos. Can you just tell me how you're feeling about what you've achieved personally?
Yeah, I'm super proud. Obviously, before coming into this tournament, I worked super hard to get myself physically fit. And as I said, I think last time I was in here, it just turned out perfect that, going into the A-League season, having 6 games to get my body in, game shape. And, I feel great. I feel like I've been able to physically have a lot of input in the field. And, it's a moment, me obviously scoring the goal to get the result. It's special to me, but, it's a special occasion for all of us. Every single player out there last night gave everything. I think it was like Jacko ran about 12-6. It was just crazy, and that's been the success of this tournament. Everyone's willing to give everything. Win the ball, lose the ball, sprint to attack and sprint to defend, and that's why we're such a strong team.
And please excuse me for asking this question, because I know you're going to get bored by it, but people are going to be asking, what gives you the belief that you can beat Argentina?
The belief is that it's a 90-minute game, maybe 120, and it's a knockout game. I think, as I said, because no one expected us to be here, we throw everything at them, and there's no real pressure for us. And as I said to all the boys leading into this tournament, and also what I believe you're going to get the best out of yourself is just do what you've done your whole career to get here and express yourself. Arnie selected all of us because he selected these players that would do a job, and that's what they've been doing at their clubs. So we have no real pressure. We just need to enjoy the moment, enjoy the occasion, and as I said, no one expects us to win, so let's shock the world.
Matt Benz from Channel 10. Are you a Ronaldo or a Messi man, and why? And have you considered that you could end one of the great careers, internationally speaking?
I'm a Messi man. I think, he's naturally, one of the, is the most talented player I've ever seen with a ball at his feet, and he just does things that no one else can do. In saying that, we've come across great players last night and in this tournament, and I think as long as we're a collective group, as we have been until now, we can stop their strengths, stop them from being dangerous, and that's what we'll try to do.
And I think back at the stadium where we beat Peru, right? This one, so a lot of good memories and good vibes there. Are we ready for another, miracle or magical moment?
Yeah, why not? I think we've had a lot of success here in Qatar. Obviously, we had a lot of qualifiers here because of the pandemic, and I think it's 6 wins from 7. So this is our second home. Conditions have been great. The stadiums, the field's amazing, and all 3 games, the atmosphere was unbelievable. And I'm sure South American countries, they always bring a great atmosphere. Their fans are real fanatics, and it'll be another great occasion.
G'day, Matt. Joe Barton from Daily Telegraph, back in the back row today. Can you talk a little bit more about what the recovery entails? I imagine it's a little bit more than just your basic ice baths, given you've got the incredible facilities at Aspetar. What are you actually kind of doing in there?
Yeah, look, I think everyone does their own individual thing, whatever what helps them. There's no real restrictions on what you do, or you're not obligated to do anything that you don't want to. But yeah, as you said, they've got everything there for us. They've got Normatec guns. They have the pool. You can throw a bike in the pool and ride a bike in the pool. You can do everything. So yeah, look, we're very, very lucky to have that, and I think it's been a massive advantage, especially the intensity that we play. We know as a team that we need to work harder, and win our physical battles to get results. Like I said, that's been the success. So for us, it's massive to get our bodies right for the game.
And just on Saturday, after back-to-back clean sheets, some extraordinary individual performances and team performances, how much confidence do you have in Kai and Harry and kind of the back 4 in being able to do what most people think is impossible in shutting down Messi and Argentina?
Yeah, huge belief. They've been amazing. The boys at the back, like I said, across the whole team. We always say defense starts at the front and attack starts at the back. And when we've needed them most, the last 10-15 minutes yesterday, obviously the nature of the game, team leading 1-0, there's always pressure at the end. Denmark were pushing us, and the boys handled everything. There were so many balls in the box, and we were always first to it. Matty had to step up on a few occasions. He came out strong, grabbed one. He made some key decisions, and yeah, I don't think anyone put a foot wrong in it last night. And that's what we need to do. We need everyone there, and we all have our individual qualities, but our biggest quality is us collectively as a team. If we're not a team on the night, it's not going to work.
Hey Lex, Clint from 9, mate. Well done. I just want to ask you about your home city, and it's going off its head right now. Your thoughts on what you're seeing, the sort of injection it gives you, the boost it gives you, and sort of the herograms or messages you've been receiving from home, if I can.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think I've seen a few videos of Fed Square last night. Obviously, last night Tunisia game, flares going crazy. It's just the place erupting. I think I saw someone sort of doing footage there, and even the guy sort of hosting it, or with the mic, he was going crazy as well. And that's what the World Cup does. That's what the Socceroos being at the World Cup does. And It's massive for the game. It's massive for everything. It's massive for kids that maybe don't know too much and they see it, and it inspires them to want to be footballers. So we're proud of that. As I said before, I used to be a proud fan, a young boy that was supporting, and now there's a new generation, and we're lucky enough to be in a position where we can make an impact. And I think last night we definitely did.
Hey, just before Greg, I should also point out that Matt Leckie and Mac Ryan will play their 10th World Cup match against Argentina, breaking an all-time Australian record. Sorry, Greg.
Sorry. Matt, Greg
If they
Pond
get
from
picked,
the
yeah.
Melbourne Age. We keep hearing from Arnie about how much he detests social media and fears it's going to sabotage your campaign, and he wants you to avoid it. Are you complying, and are your teammates complying?
I think initially after the game, obviously there's a lot of movement across social media. People that know me, I'm pretty bad on social media. I probably should be more into it because there's obviously fans that want to see what's going on. But yeah, I think last night, obviously, boys are looking over what's been said. It's a huge occasion, huge moment, huge scenes, a lot of videos. So definitely, there's obviously boys on social media, but today and tomorrow, try to stay away from it. And as I said, I'm not massively on it all the time. And on my personal social media, I probably could do better, even if it's just football related. At the stage, that's the information he's giving us, and I think a lot of the boys are taking on board. The ones that aren't, it hasn't affected them because, I think we were amazing last night.
Matt, Joey Lynch from ESPN. Forgive me for going very parochial, but last night you also became the first Victorian to ever score a goal in a World Cup for Australia. I know you would have represented Victoria as a youngster, maybe gone to Coffs Harbour. What does that stat mean to you?
First, I didn't know, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's good. I think I don't like to dwell or talk too much about what I've achieved. I think that's something I can do one day when I finish up my career. I think the reason why I've had a relatively good career, being overseas for a long time and had been lucky enough to be in the Australian setup for so long is because even when I've had success or, there's been moments where in football you're sometimes right at the top and there's times where you're right at the bottom, and I always try to stay in the middle regardless of the occasion. So just humble, head down, work hard, and I think on the field that's when I play my best, is when I'm getting into the battle, throwing my body around, and that's why I think I've had a good career.
Matty, Vince Rigari from the Sydney Morning Herald. I know you just said you don't really like talking about yourself and your career, but I'll try anyway. You've had a fantastic career at club and international level, but your heights at club level have been in the Bundesliga, which is not a league that a lot of Aussies watch particularly much. They're very much Premier League obsessed. Do you feel like some aspects of your career have gone under the radar back home? Does that even matter to you, and does it feel like that's changing a little bit with the goal you scored last night?
I don't really care, to be honest. I just think there's always opinions in everything in the world. Sports, obviously, everyone has an opinion and they're entitled to an opinion. I think the biggest thing for a footballer is whether the opinions are positive or negative, that it doesn't affect you. And you see it sometimes positive. I guess the way people talk about a player could, affect them in a bad way because, they sort of, get in the spotlight too early, and maybe they don't exceed their expectation. And then there's players that obviously have, had negative feedback in the past, and it's really affected them in their careers. So I try to stay away from it, and that's why I'm probably not on social media and that stuff too much, because there's always opinions. The best players in the world in every sport, they have people that love them and people that hate them. So for me, the most important thing is that basically the people that I'm involved with, whether it's at club level, country, and my teammates, believe in me and basically rate me as a player. The rest doesn't really matter.
Fair enough. On a much lighter note, just following up from what Joe was asking before about recovery, one of the things Arnie mentioned you would be doing is playing a bit of cricket around the place, which I think we've seen some videos of you guys in the Aspire hallways and such. Who goes all right, and also just how important is it to do stuff like that just to keep things light, and fun around the place, because it's serious business, a World Cup, but it's also important to be able to switch off and have fun when you're not training or playing.
Yeah, for sure. The switching off part is really, really key. I think we're in the zone and we're focused when we need to be, but definitely need switching off time. And we've got an amazing facility with a lot of things to do. There's pool, there's table tennis. Boys are playing Call of Duty. I'm one of them, and there's the cricket. I think in Dom's room, in the kit room, he's got a little shop set up where you got to last on over and you can take something out of the shop. But Dom didn't know. Day one, I took about 3 or 4 things and he didn't know, so I don't play. I'm all good.
Matt, you mentioned that Jackson ran a lot last night, but you've done 30-odd thousand metres over the last 3 games and run the fastest. Your top speed last night was 33 kilometres an hour. Would you be able to sustain that? Will the adrenaline of a game against Argentina allow you to sustain that with such a short turnaround? And also, there's a bunch of younger guys in the team who are not getting anywhere in it as quick as you. Do they need to pull their fingers out?
Yeah, look, I think, after the Tunisia game, everyone was knackered, tired, and we knew, we had to do all the right things to get ready for the Denmark game. And I think in the first 5-10 minutes of the game, players were looking a little bit sluggish, tired, and then it just switched. And maybe that was just because of, a few things. But mentality, got us over the line. We absorbed the pressure in the first 10 minutes, and then I felt for the rest of the game, everyone looked really good. I'm sure, there's players feeling pain, a bit of niggles here and there going into the game, but once you're out there, those things don't matter. And I'll do everything I can to back it up, obviously. I've obviously the last couple of games been, I had a bit of cramping at the end, but I always want to be out there. I want to try to, do everything I can to, do something for the team, do something for the country, and create these special moments. And that's what everyone's doing. You see the mentality. That's why we're going on about it so much, with the belief in mentality. But without that, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Matty, I know you're very focused on looking forward, but can I just get you to reflect for a moment on your journey to get here? Because you did kind of take the scenic route into professional and international football.
Yeah, if I talk about the whole thing, it'll go for a while, because I've obviously been playing for a while now. I think, the way I sort of started my career, it was different to many others. I wasn't really in any institutes. I played state a little bit, and I was actually injured going into a normal season, missed the whole season, and then I played a summer league that existed back then, and it's just a normal game. And I got a phone call. It was my agent, who's still my agent today, and he said, "I watched your game, I want to sign you." So he came to see my dad, came to see me. My dad straight away said to him, just look after him and we'll sign. So that's what happened. And then I happened to get in the under-19s national team. I'd never been in a national team before that. Did all right, and then came home, and on the last day of deadline day, I signed at Adelaide United. And I had signed to be a youth team player and train with the first team, and then within 3 weeks I was on the bench. Scored against North Queensland, and that's it. That's how it started. And then didn't look back. There's not much to say. It's too hard to explain it all. I think what's made my career is just my work rate, my fight. I think there's probably a lot more gifted people than me in the country. But one thing I think that gets me over the line or makes me have the career I've had is, my mentality and my work rate. And when I'm in my best shape, which I feel I am today, I physically have so much input, and I feel that in the games. We're playing against great players, but I can feel I'm physically better than them. And I always just try to make it a tough night for them, tough day for them. And yeah.
All right, we've run out of time. We've been on Instagram Live, this press conference, Matt, and Martin Boyle has said, hurry back, with Warzone to play. So with that, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.